Hey there, Cheese Meisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod. That would have been Needles and Pins by the Searchers. That was playing when Reek took Brenda to the only place where people eat food in Los Angeles, California, the Peach Pit. So, God bless that. I am Jeff, and oh my God, Monsieur Reek, what is he doing here? And joining me on the other end of the internet is my host.
I'm Leslie, and I'm just as American as you are, so I'm sorry.
Oh my God. This fucking episode. All right, you guys. This week, we are talking about Season 3, Episode 12, Destiny Rides Again. Original air date. Did you know it was Sweeps? Because holy fuck. November 4th, 1992. This is Sweeps Again.
No shit.
Man, there's a fuck ton in this episode, and there's really only one place we can start. You did it! You fucking called it! You nailed it! You said, and let me refresh the people's memory. Leslie said, and when I said how, one of the predict the future questions I asked, you said, Rick is just going to show up at Walgreens or something.
Yeah.
And I did not react. I played it. You didn't know that's what you had that's what you had successfully predicted. And so this episode starts in a video store. And unfortunately, for the surprise element, at the bottom of the screen, it says guest starring Dean Cain. So, of course, you know he's fucking going to show up. What was your reaction when, oh my God, Monsieur Rick, what is he doing here, happened in the video store, and you knew you had called it?
I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, fuck. I don't know what my aversion is to Monsieur Rick. I don't know if it's just me falling in with the Dylan and Brenda crowd. I think there's some of that. Unfortunately, there's also some of like 2024 lens and being like, ew, Dean Cain, I don't want to see you anymore. Yeah. I don't think it's all that. I think a lot of it is just, I don't like what he's representing in this relationship.
Okay, well, I need to find out what you think he's representing, but also he's a fucking lame stain.
So he's such a loser.
Yeah. So wait. So what do you think he represents in this relationship?
I don't even know if it's so much as represent. I mean, she's picking the bench warmer.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
And I understand. Again, they're teenagers. I'm not going to fault people for showing how teenagers might do this. How adults do this. People like having someone lined up because, shocker, we're all afraid of being alone.
Right.
But, Brenda, this man is ignoring all your red flags, which is a huge red flag. Like, I think I told you yesterday, I think he's a serial killer in the making because he's not bothered by this at all. I've had dudes be more freaked out at me when I mention my bouts of depression, and I'm like, well, that's why I'm bringing it up. Goodbye. Like, you're missing out on some great comedy. But this man was conned and is like, listen, I could like Brenda Dubois, but I could fall in love with Brenda Walsh. Can you?
Yeah. No, he can't. Apparently. Well, I mean, let's think. Here's all the things he knows about her.
Nothing.
He's a fucking liar. End of list. That's it. End of list. She's a liar. Oh, I like that. You're speaking my language, Brenda Walsh.
Now I'm realizing where I went wrong as a teenager, because I always felt like, oh, no one likes me. I'm just cute little sister type. And now I'm like, oh, I should have been lying more.
All the time. You should have just been making up the biggest possible lies that can't possibly be believed,
No.
and delivering them in a ridiculous accent. Like, who do you think has the most ridiculous French accent? Is it Brenda Dubois or is it the taunting knights in Holy Grail?
It's Brenda.
I mean, why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
I believe them so much better. You know why? Because they're right next door.
That's true. Yeah. Well, you know, he did have a castle. I believe anyone with a castle and a French accent. That's my policy. All right, so fuck me. All right, so what happens in this episode? There's so fucking much happens in this episode. I'm amazed at how much is packed into this episode. Yep. So we start out in the video store where Donna can't decide what video to rent, and I mistakenly misremembered that she wanted to rent, that someone suggested she rent Pretty Woman when actually it's Father of the Bride, and we already did that. So We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do this week for the After Dark, but whatever. Neither here nor there. Things are discovered in this video store. Reek, as previously discussed, and a giant open in front of God, literally God, and everybody, porn section in the middle of the video store.
No black covers.
No, nothing.
No curtain. Nothing. Yeah. LA's crazy.
1992 fake LA is crazy. So here's how, for people who are too young for a video store, this isn't how the adult film section worked. And here's how it worked. It was in a back room. There was a curtain. You had to go through. You had to be 18 to go through the curtain, and I never went through that curtain, not once. I stood by the curtain and waited for people to walk past it so that I could look through when the curtain blew a little bit and maybe see covers of video boxes.
Boobs.
I was a boy and there were boobs. Come on, what are you talking about? Have we met me? Do we know yet who I am? And so you couldn't just like go in. David was 17, couldn't have even been in there if he wanted to. Like, shame, David. Everybody knows your name. And is not how it works. But here, it's like not only is it in the middle of the place, but there's like a big sign above it that is like porn.
Basically.
It's porn.
Right here.
And yeah, if you look, all arrows point to porn. And David is in it. And then Donna is in it. And then there is her priest. Okay.
Looking for slutty nuts 5.
Yeah, that priest is a weirdo. I mean, Father Chris.
He played it very well, though. Not necessarily like that moment. I thought overall, and again, after the episode we just had, seeing a priest, I got very nervous. And then I calmed down. But yeah, I thought he played it all very well. It's like he knew, I need to avoid the creep level as much as possible.
I agree. He's not super creepy, but the role of the priest in this episode is weird. But I think there's more to discuss. Yeah. But here's something for this show this show is so old. Like, it's been around for so long that there are decades of rewatch phases for me. And there was a point in time in the aughts where I was doing a rewatch at the same time as I was watching 24. And it's been a long time since I've watched 24, so it's like whatever, but like there was a time when there was direct overlap. And this priest plays one of the presidents on 24. And he's a bastard. He is evil bad guy president on 24. And so there was a time when I was like, that's President what's his ass? Like, Father Chris is president, I don't remember his name. But he's a bad guy. And so it it was like that overlap was funny at the time. You're like, that guy, and now I'm like, oh right, that guy was in the other thing. So he's returned to being Father Chris and not evil president.
I'm glad.
With this rewatch, yeah. So that happens, and then they leave the video store. Brenda meets Rick, and fucking A. Okay. I don't even know what happened.
Do you need help with the summary?
What happened next? Because so much fucking happened. Did we go right to Steve, or did we go to...
No, we went to Andrea.
Andrea, who walks home?
Who suddenly decides to walk home, forgets what city she's in, and is part of a hate crime. I have many theories on this, people. I've got notes. We'll get there.
We do need to dig into your theories about this.
She's a victim of a hit and run. You know, I have persons of interest. And then Steve bribes Herbert. Or coerces Herbert. Into...
Very easily convinces Herbert.
Into a hack job, which is so not going to end well, and I hate this so much. Dylan gets accused of cheating on his SATs because he gets 300 points higher.
Right.
Kelly is going through a goth phase, which I wish that was going to continue, but it's too early 90s for the goths, I think. Also, this show is too vanilla to try that. Donna is having to deal with lack of confidence around being a virgin and committing to that.
Or like her desire to have sex, but her like desire not to. She's conflicted.
Yeah, she's very conflicted. You know? It's so valid.
She is.
I kind of like what they did with that. I mean, there are things that could have been better, but again, the 90s. I'll allow it. What else did we miss?
So then Rick and Brenda go out.
Yeah.
He takes her to the Peach Pit because, again, only place to eat in the whole damn city.
And she realizes method acting is stupid and she can't commit to it.
Yeah, she can't do it. And she tells him she's Brenda Walsh, and he ignores all of the stop signs and just plows right the fuck on through. Brenda and Dylan... there's so much to talk about. Brenda and Dylan.
Anticlimactic breakup ever.
Yeah. They break up. He goes to Kelly to make out with her face, and Steve and Herbert get caught breaking into the school, or at least they don't get caught, but like the computer system locks down and things are like, oh fuck. His well thought out plan does not work. So where do you want to start?
Wow.
Because there's still fucking much here. Do you want let's start with who you think ran Andrea over. Let's start there. Because I think there's so much more to dig into, and I'm fascinated by your approach to Andrea getting run down by a mysterious silver muscle car.
Because it's too random. Okay, I have many thoughts. I'll just start where I can. The choreography, the editing, 90s frivolity at its finest.
Yeah, wonderful.
My God. Yep. And I feel really bad for Gabrielle. Is it Carteris?
Carteris.
That looked really uncomfortable, how she was forced to lay like her legs were broken. But good job. I tried pausing to see what the license plate number was, and my computer refused. So I went, that's fine. I have plenty of suspects because I've been paying attention. So obviously, suspect number 1, Gil Myers.
Okay. I like it. I like Gil. Gil is like, I made it. I got through the Sue Scanlon thing, and Andrea, she's not calling me Gil. Like, no. I keep telling her, call me Gil, and she's like, fine, fuck, whatever, Gil. Like, she's not buying it. I think I'm just going to kill her.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to run her over. I like it. Andrea, I didn't know I had this kind of effect on you.
Right? This woman doesn't see what a nice guy I am. So I gotta kill her. There's no other way. I'm a promising young man.
Okay. Gil Myers, suspect number one.
Suspect number two, Uncle Henry. She found him out. She exposed his ring of abusing young girls.
Sure.
I don't know what
Sure.
else. And
Reasonable suspect. Agreed.
it's going to happen to him because I don't know if Mrs. Scanlon has it in her to send a family member to jail.
Yeah.
But he should go to jail. And he's probably still out there on the run. Okay, the next one. I don't know if it's the head of, but it's someone in the RNC.
Sure. You think Jay went down to Houston and was like, this bitch?
She's going to be a problem.
Yeah, take her out. Okay.
Or was like,
I think that's fair.
telling the other young RNC women there, like, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend. She's a Democrat, but you know, we work really well together. And they said, no, we're taking her.
That's right. Can't have that.
A neo-Nazi.
Just because?
Just because. Like, who?
Yeah, I get it.
We haven't gone there yet. It could happen.
I mean, I will say this, and this ties into other things in this episode. Not in favor of your neo-Nazi theory, not necessarily. But I will say that religion on this show seems to only come up when it's plot convenient. Like Donna's Catholicism or whatever. You know, like we haven't spent a whole lot of time with Donna's religious beliefs until like she meets a priest in a porn section. So, here we are. So this could be religious motivated, as random ass things in this show seem to be. Anyway, continue. Who's the next suspect?
Suspect number 5, school district police.
Okay. Because she's out of district, and they're like,
she's out of district, and they're like, fuck this, we can't do this anymore. She's changing the neighborhood. I don't
do you know how many resources we put into trying to prove that we hired one guy who tried to prove that she lived out of district, and he failed, and now murder. I like it.
All right, the last one, and this is because of you, cafeteria lady.
Yeah, because she exposed them. She won an award for this shit.
Those are my theories of who hit Andrea Zuckerman.
Okay.
I also am wondering, because this just seems so random to do this to this character, was she pregnant?
So there you go. I don't think so.
I'm like,
no, I don't think so.
In a wheelchair for what's going to be a while.
It does feel to me, and I don't remember, and I don't know, but it does feel to me like, in real life, she like broke her leg or something, and they needed to write it in. Like that's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. I don't know that that's what happened. I don't remember, but this feels exactly like a thing you do when your actor breaks their leg and you don't want the other cast members to pick a fight with them in a wheelchair.
Now, that is really funny, the synchronicity of all that. My God.
It is. Yep. So, for those who weren't listening when we weren't recording, the play Leslie is in right now, one of the actors broke their leg and is having to do the rest of the run of the show in a wheelchair, which involves Walter fighting with him on stage.
He looks like
so she just has to pick a fight with this dude in a wheelchair, and it's awesome. One assumes. I've not seen it, but it feels awesome in my heart.
I should try and sneak out and watch it from the curtain one night.
You really should. Oh my God.
Maybe start up a booth.
Listen here, mister.
Right?
Yeah. It's so great. All right. So here's what I like about this. I like that you saw this and went, this is a fucking whodunit. Like there's breadcrumbs to follow. There's clues. We're gonna follow the scent of the. Yeah, it's probably old Mr. McCuskey, and it's a real estate scam. And when we pull the mask off, we're gonna know who it was. Like, yeah, he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for Andrea not dying.
Oh man,
So
it's so
yeah,
it's well thought out as that, is it? It's gonna be some rando. It's gonna be another like crazy 17-year-old.
okay. Well, there you go. So it's that kid again. Oh, that'd be rough. What if it was Emily Valentine? What if she came back? She's
Communism.
like, I tried to burn this bitch down. She stole my typewriter. I mean, I gave it to her, but she kept it. Here I come.
I hate how many suspects there are, but I'm like, Andrea, as one unlikable woman to another, I
Mm-hmm.
get it.
Yeah.
Haven't been hit by a car yet, thankfully.
Speaking of, I can't believe how many suspects there are. It is shocking to me, and we've watched 2 1/3 seasons of this show now. Nothing should surprise me. But this is almost like when we just kind of let it slide that Brandon saved someone's life.
Yep.
Where we were just like, oh, we didn't even notice. How many potential people Dylan could have cheated on Brenda with again?
My
Like,
God.
because when she said who was so, all right, I'm going to jump into something that this episode is really about.
Please.
But we'll use it to start here. One of the things I think this episode is about is that escalated quickly. Like all over the fucking place in this episode. You know what else we didn't even mention is Rosie O'Donnell and AIDS, and we'll have to talk about that later. But so there's this Dylan is accused of cheating on the SATs, and he is angry that he has been accused of cheating. And everyone says to him, just take the test again, dude. Like, fucking, just calm down.
Yeah.
And Dylan is like, no, pride. You don't even understand. No one believes me, man. And like he gets super fucking pissed about it. Like, really escalated quickly. And Brenda is like, I believe you, Dylan. You've never lied to me. Ever once in your whole life. Even though there's Stacy that Rosalita wouldn't shut up about. And then there was that girl in Palm Springs. And then there's Surf Betty. And then there's so many people you could have just slept with again, cheated on me twice. But you've never lied to me, and I trust you implicitly. And Dylan immediately goes, well, see, the thing about that is, and then he tells her about the summer, and then she loses her shit because Brenda is a nutcase in this episode, like 100% out of her mind, and just goes from I trust you implicitly to I know I had this thing with Rick, but you should never have done that.
It's very much starting this horrible rhetoric that we're now trying to unravel, that anything the man does is always way worse than what the woman does. Mm-hmm. And in this case, it's really, I mean, I don't want to go into it all again, but we're probably going to have to. Like,
we're going to live in it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're living in this. This is not going away.
Like, sure, Brenda's thing was for like a couple days, whereas Dylan's thing was a whole summer.
Right.
But both did something really messy. They both messed with each other's minds and hearts. She completely conned a guy. He's stringing someone else along, thinking that he can have it both ways. Like, they're both messy as hell right now. And yeah, I'm with you on, not that you said this explicitly, but I'm going to say it. I don't like that they're making it look like she did nothing wrong.
Yeah, but here's the thing about this. Like, this should, I hate the word should, but here we are. in a vacuum, if this happens and Rick doesn't ever come to the Walgreens, if Dylan is caught cheating, whatever, not he didn't cheat, we know, but if he's accused of cheating and then feels guilty and admits to Brenda that he cheated on her with someone over the summer and had been lying about it this whole time, didn't just held it in. And we also know who it was. Brenda doesn't, but we know that it's her best friend. Brenda is 100% the wronged party here.
Yeah.
Right? But because Rick shows up and Brenda is like, I don't know, maybe this guy? And she's the one who breaks it off. It makes the whole thing, it makes her the aggressor. It makes her the one who pulled the trigger. It gives Dylan and Kelly cover to be able to say, you broke up with me. I didn't, whatever I did is not that big a deal because I was with you. We were sticking it out. You abandoned me in my time of need. I needed help and support fighting the man.
Except, granted, she was, again, she had the comfort of Rick nearby in the wings.
Mm-hmm.
But she was, I'm sorry, he was able to help her see, like, you know what? The fact that we low-key keep cheating on each other, maybe we need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was smart.
I'm not saying that's wrong. I agree. I don't love that, like, I feel like Brenda she's being forced to be the bad guy here in ways that aren't real or aren't fair.
But this is what they do on TV because they do the same thing in Dawson's Creek when Pacey dumps Joey hard at prom. And years later...
fuck. That's why I always tell people never have prom on a boat. I swear to Christ, I have more than once said, because I used to work in schools, no, you don't have a dance on a boat. Haven't you seen Dawson's Creek?
Oh my God. Well, and like...
Because you're stuck.
Yeah, it's just, this is the thing that they do, unfortunately, is like, the woman has been wronged, but she's going to do the smart thing and leave the guy, and then they're going to act like, oh, the guy's the wrong party and he got hurt. Bite me.
Bite everybody. Yeah.
What? I got... Sorry, I just was seeing red, thinking again about all the times they try to blame Joey for breaking up with Pacey. But this show...
But back to Dylan and Kelly and Brenda.
I thought of something, because I think it's worth noting. I think Brenda wants to improve Dylan, and Kelly is willing to accept him warts and all.
Interesting. Okay. I like that.
And it doesn't, but there is a difference between someone, because quite frankly, you should want to be with someone who is like willing to evolve with you and wants you to evolve as well. Like, we're flowers, not rocks. That was good. I'm going to remember that. But anyway,
remember it.
Thank you. But
noted.
Edict. Mine should be noted. But yeah, I realized that last night. Brenda wants to improve Dylan, and Kelly's willing to accept him warts and all, which is why I think this episode is about taking back control. Because Dylan, it's like this is the straw that broke the camel's back for him. He just can't handle being accused of something, of cheating, when it's like, well, I did cheat, but not on the test.
Not in the way you think I cheated.
Yeah. I think he's tired of trying to be better. I think he's tired of trying to be, which I get. I think a lot of people go through this. When you are trying to be above the things dragging you down in your own life, it's a struggle, and we all regress. It happens.
Right.
And I think he is hardcore wanting to regress right now.
Sure.
And I think Brenda is also taking back control by going with someone who seems to be much more interested in her than Dylan is right now, which fair, but also, honey, I'm pretty sure he's a psychopath. The fact that he's still okay with your crazy. Ah.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Steve
Brenda should not want to be a part of any club that would have her as a member, vis-a-vis people to date. Because the fact that Rick is interested in her after this should be a hard stop. Like, I can't believe you were putting up with my shit. This is crazy.
Well, and the fact too that later on he acknowledged, like, he calls her out on going to see this other guy, but still fighting for her in a way that I'm like, no, I don't see this.
Also going to see this other guy, he's you're seeing him again. Yes, I see him every day. We've been dating for 2 years. What do you mean I'm going to see him again? Like, yeah, I'm going to see him still. Like, there's no again. I'm seeing him right now. Like, even though I'm talking to you, I'm still seeing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, continue with control. Control. Never gonna stop. Control. Now I'm all grown up. Sorry, Janet Jackson.
No, it's okay. I think Donna is feeling a little out of control with, like, her wants versus her ideals.
Sure.
Her wants versus her morals, so whatever. And so she's seeking out answers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In the one place she seems to feel comfortable seeking out answers because she ran into a priest. And then Steve is taking control in the worst way possible by changing his grades, which is so wrong. Oh my God.
Yeah. I agree. There's a lot of control happening in this episode. So much so that I sang Janet Jackson just now. Yeah. We're bouncing in this one, and that's fine because there's too much. But back to escalated quickly because everything. 2 weeks ago, Dylan didn't even want to go to college. Right? And now he's willing to burn his life to the ground to prove he didn't cheat on the SATs. That is a jump.
That feels like Dylan, though.
I don't know. It all feels nuts to me. Donna starts the episode with David in the porn section, looking at boxes of titties. And she went almost immediately to, I think I'm waiting for marriage. Like, that really got there fast. Like, I know she said, like, let's give it a year and we'll reevaluate. It was sort of her position on it. But that was a quick escalation, and we're going to have to spend a lot more time talking about Donna and David having sex. It's a mash the gas pedal from I got us tickets to see Rosie O'Donnell to no Rosie O'Donnell, I am also a virgin, live on television.
Yeah.
That's talking about your sex life on TV to Rosie O'Donnell. In the first 35 seconds of that janky ass benefit that they went to, that was, I don't even know what studio that was recorded in, but it is. You know how, like, it was a lame stain. Like, have you ever, like, you've watched Price is Right? Yes?
Hell yeah.
Okay, you know when you're a kid and you're watching Price is Right and you're like, that's huge, the crowd, come on down. Yep. And then you see how big that studio is, and it's like, there's like 12 rows. It's like half the bleachers at your high school gym. Like, it's not even a full court gym.
Yeah.
This studio is smaller than the Price is Right. Like, that's how tiny this little box they're in. It's the upstairs theater at everywhere.
Yeah. It's the black box theater at every school.
Yeah, every school, every professional theater in the country that has like a main stage and like an upstairs, that this was in the upstairs of every place. And they go in and they sit down and immediately are like, well, Rosie O'Donnell, let me tell you about whether I'm fucking or not. And uh, but I will say that I very much enjoy two parts of this. One, I like Brandon and Nikki and Donna and David double dating. I think that's
Yes.
fun. I think that's cute. I also, God damn, I'm so in the bag for Nikki. I just am. I can't fight it. Her, uh, just the way she answers Rosie's question of, I have, like, just
Yeah.
her, yes, I've had sex. I'm very fucking cute. Don't you see this? Of course I've had sex. Oh my God, I'm cute. Um,
Also, I think
but
they've done it together, but they didn't acknowledge it in this. And I'm like, you totally have.
yeah, maybe they haven't because it feels like Rosie got it right. Because she reads it. She's like, oh, but not with each other. Call me Kreskin. Okay. Like their whole interaction with each other is so it's appropriately awkward. It
Yes.
is still too revealing for live TV, but like
Yes.
they handle the like, is this a long term relationship? Well, we just started dating a couple months ago. We've been together a couple months, which is like that's the truth. That is an honest place to answer that question from. Yeah, this might be something. We've been together for a couple months. We really like each other. No, we haven't had sex yet.
Yeah.
Um, it is such a it's such a I believe their relationship like so much in that scene where they're just sitting there telling Rosie O'Donnell and all of Los Angeles that they haven't slept with each other. I just
Mhm.
believe their relationship so much. And then I really like David's. Oh, I know all about it.
That was so, that was great.
That's possibly the best line reading that Brian Austin Green has given on this show to date.
Yeah.
It is so perfect. Yeah, I know all about it.
So,
I'm a
you
fan.
know, I feel like Brian Austin Green had a similar thing he had to work with acting wise this week. So the priest actor had to work hard to like not be creepy. And then I
Uh
think
huh.
also we had to make sure David didn't look like an asshole, Like
Yeah.
it's fair that he's frustrated, but
Mhm.
how he reacts to it or handles it is going to say a lot. And thankfully they keep it pretty level. He's just like, okay, I'm getting too heated in here. Like, I gotta go home. It's like, yeah, it
Right.
sounds like you need a cold shower or to take care of things.
Uh
Um,
huh.
you know,
And he like he also has the like, look, I'm 17. I'm not going to be thinking about marriage for a long time. And I
yeah,
really don't think I can wait until then for
yeah,
this. That is the realest of real. Like David said it well. And not in a pressure way,
yeah.
but in a like, this is, look, if we're just being honest and looking at a calendar here, like I'm not, this is how time works. And I, I don't think my horny can wait 10 years. I just don't think it can. Like, I just, as we're evaluating the system, the situation, all honesty, that ain't gonna do it, Donna. Like, I'm not gonna make it that long.
I
Promise.
really liked their conversation about like
Mhm.
him being honest, but also her going, well, there's other things we can do.
Yes.
And like, also, again, let's reevaluate. I thought that was so mature. And I, again, I could have benefited from an episode like this.
So here's I mean that was also a quick escalation from Saul the priest to what if we just do butt stuff? Um, like it that's what I want so much. I want to know. She's like, look, who makes up the rules? We do. Well, what's in the rules?
I like how you completely skipped oral for.
Well, no, I mean, I think we've already discussed our belief that the reason David was so pent up is because he could not get handies from Donna while she was in Paris. Like,
True.
I feel like they've been hand stuff already. Um, I also feel like definitely mouth stuff has been going on.
Interesting. I don't get
I
that
think
vibe yet.
I don't think they're not showing us that vibe.
I don't.
But these two have been together this long, and all they're doing is hand stuff. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Just to buy it. So, yeah, I mean, maybe they have it, but so maybe this conversation was also Haktua. Like, that's where we're at.
How dare you? Ugh.
I know, I didn't mean to bring her up. She sucks. I mean, I don't know if she sucks, but she does because she said so, Haktua. But
around all of that is
yeah,
and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I you know.
This has been another episode of Leslie's Bitter.
I don't need to get into it, but I don't understand how she's entertaining in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't get
it. Nope, I don't get it. Whatever.
Okay,
anyway, yeah, facts. Moving on. All right. It's a quick escalation from seeing Reek to breaking up with Dylan. Especially when you hang it on the test, the SAT thing. Like it's such a big jump, and we do it all in this episode. Boom, but it's gone.
I mean, to be fair, sometimes that kind of shit does happen. It's the littlest thing, and you're like, it's the hat on the snowman that we've been building of problems. Like,
happy birthday.
Yeah, except not really. So
they didn't come to life.
It was such a strange breakup to watch. Like, I mean, again, I texted you and I said, I feel like I just heard a generation screaming and crying. But
yeah.
But out of confusion, because again, you think things are gonna end in like wild screaming, but like you said, we're gonna live in this, and I know it's gonna get worse. Because sometimes breakups do end calmly. It's how people behave in the grieving process where it gets heated.
Yeah. Here's another place where it escalated quickly. Speaking of greatest line readings in history. Hi, Reek. Nat fucking killed it. Like, and it is a fast escalation from Nat saying, hi, Reek, to Brenda confessing everything. It takes like 4 seconds.
He made a meal out of the one day he got to be on set this week. Bless him.
That was wonderful. It just, I fell out when he said hi, Reek.
Reek?
He just, Reek? This is very, I don't know what's happening here, Brandon. Can you help me out, Reek?
Reek?
Wonderful. And here's the other thing. Here's the other place that escalated quickly. Steve bumped into Herbert in the hallway. Hadn't seen him in a month.
On purpose.
35 seconds later, he is in the computer lab talking Herbert into committing a felony, and Herbert goes along with it. Here is, I told you before we started that I rewrote some dialogue. Here it is. Okay. I rewrote the Steve talking Herbert into committing a felony dialogue. Steve, would you like to accompany me to a sporting event? Herbert, yes, that sounds great, and not completely out of the blue. I am not suspicious. But to be clear, you'd like to hang out with me, Herbert, the black kid? Steve, yes, I want to get to know all aspects of your personality. For example, I see you like computers. A topic I bring up for no reason other than simple human curiosity. Herbert, I do like computers. Steve, you're probably a hacker. Herbert, well, I like computers. If that makes me a hacker, then, wait, what do you think a hacker is? Steve, you probably have fantasies about doing something illegal with your computer knowledge. Herbert, of course I do. I see you know what hackers are. None of this seems odd to me. Let's keep talking. Steve, speaking of illegal things and computers, I hear they keep grades on a computer. Herbert, this is an unexpected line of inquiry, and I have no idea where this is headed, but that is correct. And here are all of the specs for the computer system that I know because, as you say, I am hacker. Steve, I am impressed. Let me complement your knowledge and subtly plant the seed about crime and suggest that it is beyond your ability. I am negging you. Herbert. Wait! No! I will take your bait. I can crime, except we have to break into school to break into computers. And I can't hacker that. Steve, have you heard of Legacy Key? Scene.
Okay, that sounded like if ChatGPT was given the least to write this scene in the moment. That is
I gave myself that prompt.
No, good for you. That was well done. Yeah, a human did that, fuckers.
That scene is the whole Steve and Herbert situation is fucking hilarious to me. It is nonsense.
Herbert has not been enlightened on the duplicitous nature of white people, and I'm concerned.
Or specifically of Steve Sanders. But like I don't know, Herbert gets straight A's. He doesn't need to change his grade. What are you doing, Herbert? Why are you listening to this fool? Why is David allowing him to manage his music career? Steve is baffling to me.
I know.
None of this makes sense.
Nothing alluring about him whatsoever, and yet people seem so taken in with his popularity and with his
and also
just confidence.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, I wanted to so much make fun of this, except for that it fucking works on people. The Steve calling up the school and just asking them for their password and them just giving it to him. When he Hello, I am Steve Sanders from Computer Network Maintenance Corporation. Like, what kind of lame ass fake I am calling from Fake Business Incorporated. Like that's ridiculous. And the lady in the school office, she's busy. Like she's got a lot going on. She has 17 jobs, including answer the phone when this guy calls.
And she gets paid.
Mrs. Teasley, she would know Steve's voice. She'd be like, "Steve, this is bullshit. Nope, not having any of it.
Stop trying to change your grades."
Yeah, we know. Like, I know your grades are bad. I've known you for 4 years. You're a moron. Fucking Steve. All right. We've talked about Brenda is a lunatic. Here's something that I wanted to ask you about. How did it go when you asked your priest if you should have sex?
I never did.
What? Are you telling me that that's unrealistic? What?
I think I've made it very clear that I was as vanilla as they come or don't come in high school. You're welcome.
Are you spelling cum?
Yeah.
It's an audio medium.
So no, I definitely didn't do that. I didn't feel like I could talk to any adults. I didn't feel like I could talk to anyone about sex or my choices. And so I just got made fun of for it. And it's fine, like.
Okay, if you had the opportunity to talk to Rosie O'Donnell, how would that have gone?
Oh my God. I think I would have been more curious about like A League of Their Own. Oh my God, you've been on Broadway. Can we talk about that? Like,
right.
Probably just figured out some other things about myself sooner too, but it's fine.
Koosh balls. Would you have asked her about shooting koosh balls at John McD, the McDLT?
No, I would not.
You don't know what that is. Rosie O'Donnell had a talk show.
Yes, I do. I knew that. I would see
that. I don't know why I saw I didn't watch it a ton. I think it was on when I was in college. I was just like at home in the afternoons. I also I didn't work normal 9 to 5 jobs right out of college. I had weird hours, so I would see like daytime TV. I saw too much of this show, and I didn't watch it. It wasn't like appointment viewing. but her band leader was named John McD, and she always introduced him by saying John McD, the McDLT, because McBLT, the McDonald's sandwich. And she also shot koosh balls at people, like a lot. The studio audience, John McD, guests, everybody. And she called everybody a cutie patootie.
Yes.
And she really liked Tom Cruise. Like, she was so head over heels for Tom Cruise. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I know about Rosie O'Donnell and her TV show. Koosh balls. So you don't think it would have ended up with her praising your mother's parenting skills?
I don't think so. I don't know that we would have gotten to that conversation. Also, that's weird.
You would have gotten there immediately. It would have taken 4 words and she would have asked you about it. We saw that.
Felice, I think you want to recant that.
I mean, that's rough. So, like, all right. So another thing this episode is really about is it's okay to have sex. It's also okay not to have sex. You should probably ask Jesus and Rosie O'Donnell and Felice. And that's how you should come to your decision to not. But it's okay if you do, but also don't.
But you're gonna get praised by the adults for not. And I think the thing
Nikki's gonna get slut shamed for being cute.
No, that's the thing. I'm like, the girls who are gonna get slut shamed. And also the girls who aren't are gonna get made fun of. Like,
right.
I think 16 Candles said it best. Like, it's Breakfast Club that said it. You know, you're a slut if you do, and you're a prude if you don't. So,
yep.
You're winning.
Yeah. I think 16 Candles said it best when they said, "No more Yankee my wanky, donger needs food." That's what 16 Candles said the best. All right, so this episode is called Destiny Rides Again. And Rick is, well, that's the thing. Rick is laying it on pretty thick here. Like, lick. Rick is like, look. And I don't know shit. And Rick has a point here, right? Like, I met you, random ass liar, in Paris, and here you are in Los Angeles at this clearly X-rated video store.
Family Video.
Yeah. It is bonkers that we ran into each other. That is, what are the odds, right? That's got to be fate. And then what are the odds that I take you to the only restaurant in Los Angeles where your brother cousin happens to work, where all of this falls apart? Like that seems like the odds are pretty long. Like, okay, so destiny. But is this episode about people making really terrible choices, or is it about destiny? Here's what we have in favor of really terrible choices.
Okay.
Andrea decides to walk home to, I don't know how far away she lives, but it's not close. Steve chooses to break into the school and change his grades. Destiny. Dylan decides he can't accept literally any challenge to him. Nope. I'm out of all of it. Fuck off. Brenda chooses to see Rick. Donna chooses not to have sex. Kelly chooses to rent a video on how to paint your room black or sponge paint. Both of those things apparently are in that video she rented. And paint her room. She has many choices of the colors she's going to choose. I guess we'll find out what she chooses next week. And she chooses to kiss Dylan. None of those things are destiny. Those are choices rides again.
What if it's just body splatter? Because they're...
Nice. I like it.
I'm making it like super 90s porno. Like, they're just making out of the paint and then...
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Ghost if it wasn't play. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. What did this ball of whatever make you nostalgic for?
So when I turned 18, obviously there's like a lot of stuff you can suddenly do. You can buy cigarettes. Well, I didn't smoke and I don't, and I didn't want to. I knew they were expensive, so I wasn't going to do that. I could vote. I could vote. I had to wait many months for that.
Mm-hmm.
The next option was, oh, I can go to an adult store, which,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing what I think people know about me now, should be extra funny. So I went with a close guy friend at the time to the one in Clarksville, the Triple X Theater.
Oh, I've never been there. I've just driven past it on the highway. Yeah, I've never been.
Oh, you've missed out. It's very uncomfortable. I would probably feel better in there now being a full ass adult and being able to like, don't even look at me. Um,
I wouldn't, because I'd be like, why am I in here? There is the internet.
I mean, that's true, but again, when you're 18 and
Sure, it's a thing you can do now.
yeah, it was a thing I could
Yeah,
do.
I get it.
And so yeah, we went, I think we went to a couple adult stores just to be like,
Well,
you're allowed to be here now.
that's right. This place has a whole different selection of this than this place.
Boy, oh boy, were my
They have a
eyes.
whole section dedicated to.
Yep,
Now people can just insert whatever kink they want into what I just did.
it was wild.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Thank you.
I I'm so overloaded by the shit that happened in this episode. I don't know that I have a nostalgic moment.
Really?
I just I don't even know. Like I never hacked into anything and never was involved in a hit and run. Um, um,
This would not be
yeah, right.
admitted.
Right. I had a friend in high school once who, after planting a Christmas tree in the 50-yard line of the school football field, um, I actually I actually did have a friend in high school who broke his ankle in a car accident because he jumped on the hood of a moving car as a joke. And when the person driving hit the brakes, he flew off and shattered his ankle.
Shocker.
So maybe that's my nostalgic moment. And you know what? It relates to your guy in the wheelchair on the play situation too, because this was at the beginning of like the winter season. I don't know what you guys had at Floyd Central, but at Providence we had the Popcorn Players, which was like a traveling theater troupe.
Cute.
And we would like go to grade schools and do like little Christmas themed whatevers. And you know, we wore like long underwear and boxer shorts and a t-shirt, and we did a thing. It was like all this performance. And I was not in Popcorn Players. I was Popcorn Players adjacent because I was like, I didn't make the basketball team my senior year. So I was like, what am I going to do? And these were all my friends and my girlfriend was there. And so I just was hanging out, like spending all my time there. And then he broke his ankle. And I knew all of the dialogue. I knew everyone's parts because I'd just been there. So I had to step in and be
Nice.
like all of his parts in all of like the 6 different productions we did. And because he couldn't, because he was like
that your high
super
school recognized someone is injured and should maybe step away and let themselves heal, and that someone else could step in. That's so nice and smart.
It was good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, better than your guy that gets in a fight with Walter now. So yeah, so I guess that's what I'm nostalgic for. The time I was a hero. I don't know. I did. I had.
threw someone off a car so that you could get to be on stage with your girlfriend.
That's right. That's right. I did have to do a Charlie Brown bit where I pretended to kick the football and fall,
Of course.
and I did not think that the way that they fell was believable, so I just full out fell. Oh, that hurt so bad. No one taught me.
You.
Well, no one taught me how to do a flat back bump. I didn't learn that when you fall, if you put your arms out, it expands the surface area. This is how wrestlers fall, and it like there's more to absorb the thing, but also you kind of fall and roll a little bit. I just went.
To be fair, as we've mentioned,
The air went.
yep. No one wants to teach kids how to do things safely because we want their backs to be broken like ours.
That's right. Crack them.
Your face is slapped, whichever.
Yeah, whatever. It's all fine. All right. Who is your Steve Sanders Memorial worst person of the episode?
I think we have to give it to the namesake today. Because, granted, Dylan pissed me off to no end, and Brenda
Mhm.
was on some shit, but it's Steve. Steve has no moral compass whatsoever. He wants to break
Nope.
into a school. He's going to drag this kid down. You know what's going to happen, too? Herbert's going to get expelled, and Steve's only going to get a slap on the wrist and like suspended because he's a promising young man. And this kid, no one knows. Like, it's. I'm not looking forward to watching Herbert go down for Steve's crimes.
So you're correct. It is Steve. 100% there. We've seen a lot of Steve, and there's more Steve to come. But this storyline is a large part of why I named this after Steve.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The reason that this is the Steve Sanders Memorial Worst Person of the Episode, it begins with the Herbert shit. Steve sucks. Steve's a fucking asshole in this episode. He is manipulative. He is dragging someone else into his selfish ass bullshit.
Uh-huh.
He didn't break, but he entered, and he's got, so far, the only one who's done anything illegal is Herbert.
Yeah.
Steve just used a key and walked into the school. He didn't break in.
His on nothing.
Also, Hutch, I guess, probably committed a crime by like giving him this key or what. I don't know what Hutch's culpability is here, but Steve sucks.
Yeah.
Like full out fucking sucks. This whole thing. And so, worst person of the episode. And in an episode where someone literally ran over Andrea in a car, Steve is the worst person.
Yeah.
And fuck him is where we're at for that. So, whew, I'm fucking exhausted from this episode. I got to tell you.
I have an idea for the movie.
Oh, tell me, because we don't know yet. Go.
I think Cruel Intentions might be a good option because you have a lot of kids talking each other into stuff, manipulating each other into stuff.
Okay.
You have two different plot lines about people being virgins and how they're either coerced into it, how they end up choosing to go, like losing it. I think it's very interesting, and I mean, it's all based off of the play Dangerous Liaisons, but it takes it to an insane level further.
Yeah, for sure.
There is someone getting hit by a car.
Have you seen it? Have you seen Cruel Intentions? Okay, cool. I have too, but not a lot. Maybe once, which is shocking because I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like I ride hard for Buffy, and we know this. Okay, well, let's do a little. Oh, I freaking forgot that Pacey's in this. Right? Oh, and Baranski's in it. Tara Reid. A lot of people in this movie.
Every 90s pop star.
So there's definitely going to be a. What the Fred Norris is in this?
I don't know who that is.
Fred is on Howard Stern. He's the guy who does the sound effects and impressions and stuff.
Oh, interesting. Again, this movie is wild.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna have to find our connection because we know there is one. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. As long as we can find our spelling connection, I think that's a great idea. So join us here on Friday, Cheesemeisters, when we're gonna see how cruel our intentions can be, and then next week, join us here for season 3, episode 13, Rebel with a Cause. By the way, I pointed this out in our text messages, but when they broke up, Dylan is dressed like James Dean. With the red shirt.
Didn't realize until after.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, Rebel with a Cause next week. When it still sweeps, so some shit's going down.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, we ended at very interesting points for all of these characters. Mm-hmm. Maybe Andrea develops like an opioid problem because she was on some good shit this episode.
I don't know how she got. Speaking of escalating quickly, how did she get from both of your legs are broken to get out of here in this wheelchair in like a day and a half? Like, she would have been, the way that her leg was turned around completely the wrong direction on the street, she would have had the James Bond erection cast.
Yes.
Like, it would have just been straight legs like this up in the air.
You're doing school from home
Instant.
for a while. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You're, and her legs would be like out like this probably. Or if she broke her hip, which I don't know, but her leg would have to be like locked in straight.
Yeah.
So that's full bed rest, Jack. I don't know. So here we are. Anyway, shit's about to continue to keep being and getting real and more real and realer. So, so until then, Cheesemeisters.
Bye.
Bye. Father Chris?